My name is Kush, and I'm with Spreetail, the company across the board. In a nutshell, Spreetail is an e-commerce company, and we've served about 2.5 million customers. Probably you didn't know about that last year. And our goal is, ultimately, our purpose is to better our communities, our teammates, and the customer experience the customers that we serve. And with that, I'd like to kind of go over some lessons that we learned in the past 5 years or so that got us to where we are today, and ultimately going to help us achieve our vision and our dream. And with that, there's essentially 4 pillars of that were fundamental to our success, and they're going to help us get to where we want to be. And hopefully you take away some things that might be useful to you, and with that, we'll jump in. First things first is the vision. Having a vision is the beginning of everything. If we don't know where we're going, we're going to end up somewhere where we don't like. And so for us, initially, in earlier days, our vision was kind of, relatively speaking, selfish. We did things, we worked so we could play. And by that, I mean, we would work hard, really hard during the week, and then we'd all fit in an RV and drive to Omaha, party till 3 a.m., and start it all over again. Or we'd jump on a boat and go to some Milford Lake, and, you know, around this time of the year, actually, jump in the lake. It's freezing cold, and to keep ourselves warm, we'd drink vodka at 10 a.m. in the morning to, to have a good time. So it was all kind of self-serving, and it was fun, and that's okay. But as we grew up, our vision has evolved as well. And today we're in the business of betterment, and by that, I mean, our purpose is stated in there, but it really is about 3 things. It's bettering our community, bettering our customer experience, and bettering ourselves. And what it means is, for our community, is providing opportunities that don't already exist. Things like bike share system that's about to launch this Friday, or providing families who can afford backpacks with school supplies for their kids, thousands of them to students here in Lincoln and elsewhere, or providing mattresses to families who are trying to escape homelessness. And again, it's all about bettering our community. So the other one is about bettering our customer experience, and it comes down to 2 things. It's fast and friendly service to our customers. If you were to call somebody, or if you were to call us, somebody across the hall would answer your call within 30 seconds, and you'd be helped, and your questions would be answered pretty swiftly, and you'd be taken care of. Or if you were to order something from us, your order would probably be delivered before you fill up your gas tank or buy the next jug of milk. And that's what we're about. It's providing fast, friendly service to our customers and taking care of them. And finally, betterment of our teammates. We call it creating opportunity and wealth for our teammates. And that's not just financial wealth, but education as well. Providing the skills, the leadership to be able to take on higher levels of responsibility within our company or wherever else their journey might take them. So that's what we're about. And so jumping on to the next thing, so having the vision is the first thing. Next step is, how are you going to get there? For me, personally speaking, within the first day of joining Spreetail, I knew what I wanted to do. I had a plan for like the 2-3 years and kind of work backwards in 3-month increments of how am I going to get there. A similar thing with Spreetail. We know what our vision is and where we're headed, and every quarter we talk about what our goals are, and every year we kind of set like long-term plans and where we want to be, and so kind of map out the journey, storyboard the whole experience, and that kind of helps us get to where we want to be. And the next step is our team. It's critical. Having a healthy team has been the most important thing for us. In 2014, we realized we were growing too fast. We were outpacing our own capacity to execute what we wanted to do. And so we kind of took a step back and decided, like, all right, what are we doing wrong, and what do we need to do to get to a position where we can do $1 billion of business without breaking our backs? And so we launched Operation Flywheel, and our goal was to focus on the team first and foremost. How do we develop leaders who can develop other leaders who then will execute on our vision and plan? And luckily, we've been doing a good job of that. And in the last quarter, we celebrated hiring more people in the last 90 days than we've had in the whole of 2014, and putting everyone in a position to succeed, essentially. And so building a healthy team is pretty critical. it starts from day one. If you were to join Spreetail team today, you would be going through a pretty in-depth onboarding session where you learn all aspects of the business. Essentially, you learn how to run a business and experience all different departments. And then within the next 90 days, you kind of set a plan of where you want to be to essentially be a future, to set up to be a leader in the company down the road. So that's kind of about our team. And finally, the fourth, I guess one quote I wanted to say about it is, that comes to mind from a book I read a long time ago about small advantages in your life. It's surrounding yourself with the people who are better than you and inspiring, because those folks have the most influence and impact on how you are in the future. So we focus really hard on hiring the right folks. We have a 4-step process in our interview process to ensure that we are kind of raising our own bar and bringing in people who we can learn from and pay really kind of close attention to ensuring that we surround ourselves with people who are inspiring and better than ourselves. Ownership mindset. So the 4th pillar is about ownership mindset. Ownership, in a nutshell, it's about taking full-on responsibility and accountability for whatever happens in our lives, right? So we teach it from day one. It's one of our core values. It's something we practice and preach every day. It's not just a value on our wall. I was thinking this morning, Gabe, one of our software developers, it's not his role to go in the kitchen and clean around and put the dishes away, but he does it. And that's what owners do. We're not about titles. We do things because they need to be done. And actually, the last time I heard somebody say that, it's not my job to do something was probably 4 years ago at Spreetail, and that person is no longer here. It's just, we do what we do because we realize acting like an owner is important to our success. So with that in mind, personally speaking, from day one, I've always kind of thinking about, even though I didn't find this company, I'm not the original founder, how can I, what can I do to think entrepreneurially and push the company forward? And so it's our core value, and it's important to think like an owner, act like an owner, do the little things that needed to keep the company forward. And that's kind of it. And to summarize it, the 4 things, the 4 pillars is, starts with a vision, know where you're going, because if you don't know where you're going, then you're going to end up somewhere you don't like. Second is storyboard, the timeline, how you're going to get there, ideally in 3 months increments. And third is surround yourself with great people, because they're going to have the biggest impact on your personal well-being and how you get there. And finally, act like an owner. Don't take excuses. Don't blame anybody else. Be ultimately responsible for the outcome, and you'll get to where you want to be. So thank you.